していいです
Perfect summer is over in a flash and you're on your way. Somebody near, it's open for tonight, it's not too late. My mind says yes, you've been here for quite some time, but my heart tells me you should stay. And colors, love is for the ones who dare to wait. No use in running when all I really want is to make you stay. My mind says yes, you've been here for quite some time, but my heart tells me you should stay. Screams, let me carry you home.
Ouais, d'accord.
you.